We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TK's Knives and Nonsense Show. We've got Chris and we've got Caitlin. Hello, guys.
Howdy, howdy.
We
Howdy.
have absolutely no one else in here because I think they were in the other stream and probably haven't figured out they need to switch over.
Oops.
We had some last minute technical difficulties, so we had to change our scheduled live over to this side. Hopefully, everyone will find their way over here once they get an indication that the live went live. All right, we've got three people, so it looks like,
Cool.
looks like they're figuring it out. But today's episode, we're just going to talk with Gunslinger Cal, and Chris is going to fill the void, and I'm just going to sit here and watch you boys show knives, ask you questions.
I'm good at filling voids.
Yeah, right. So let's bring up this screen here so we can all see each other better. First off, I thought we'd do this, Cal. Let people know where they can find you. If there's anything you want to promote or anything you want to discuss before we get started, go for it. This is your time to shine.
I appreciate that, Don. I'm over at GunSlingerCal on YouTube. I am also over on YouTube, just Kalen Camp, on Facebook. I've just started my Facebook journey again. It's been a while since I've been on there. I do have an eBay store that is about to be updated with some knives, so you can also find me there at GUNSLIN42. Yeah, GunSlin42. I didn't make that one. They gave that one to me.
GunSlin42. All right.
Maybe somebody can throw it in the chat at some point. Hopefully.
Okay, you can do that. Let's find your eBay page. Go on. If you got anything more to talk about while I'm doing that, I'll.
I really it's been kind of slow over here. I did do a few rehandles here recently, but I've been dealing with a bunch of family stuff here recently, so life is taking the reins.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, isn't it? You kind of have life get in the way of a lot of your hobbies and things, and so I've been doing a lot of eBaying and things, and I haven't had a chance to make videos, so my video production has gone way down. So I understand that entirely. I'm not finding the eBay thing right away, so I'll have to do a bit more searching. So we'll get to that in a moment. We'll have that up before the end of the show. But they have thought we would talk about case knives primarily, of course. That's been your kind of main obsession, has it not?
It has. Safe to say.
Yeah, and there's been so many patterns that we've kind of wanted to see back made again. And one of the things I thought we would talk about primarily is showing some of the patterns that you have that are no longer made. And you may not even be familiar with which ones are still being made because you don't buy the newer knives, right? So we'll kind of help guide you through that, I think. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But the main ones that I've been buying, they still make today are the Sodbuster, the Barlow, the sow belly, the 3-blade sow belly primarily.
Mm-hmm.
But they also make, the trappers and the different sizes, and quite a number of stockmen still in different sizes. 75 patterns still made, for example.
Okay.
So their vault release for this year was a baby dock. I don't know if you had any of the older ones of that, but
no, just the full size is all I have of that.
Right. One. Okay. So you maybe can show that, and we could kind of just see how much larger that one was. I think that's a much nicer knife than the vault pattern that they released. But just kind of go back through some of these ones, and you don't necessarily have to know whether they're current or not. We can kind of tell you as they pop up. Can't remember them all off the top of my head. But before we get started, I wanted to go through this. This was top of mind whenever I was going to have you on. Kaylin and I met up at Texas Blade Show, and he had a whole handful of these and was just handing them out. So tell me more about the knife and the slip? Can you kind of
Yeah,
fill in the
absolutely.
voids here?
Oh yeah. So what happened with those was Randy passed away at the end of last year, and it kind of lit a fire under me to get into my knife making shoes, I guess. And the first thing I did was I found a bunch of shark fingers at good prices, generally under $30 a piece. And I decided to just start rehandling those, and that's where I started. I picked up a handful of those and a handful of deer slayers, and just went to town. And over, I guess, the couple of months until Blade Show started, um, I racked up about 5 of them, and luckily 5 people came to Blade Show, and I was able to give them away.
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, Schrade is the maker of the shark finger, and these are the old USA ones he was buying.
Yes.
And of course, those have the carbon steel blades on them. And so what can you tell me about this particular handle? This was was stag, correct? So
yeah, it's like I wasn't sure if it was bone stag or stag, but it's definitely made to look like stag.
right.
I purchased 4 of those sets of handles off of eBay, and I still have three other sets of those to rehandle some knives in it. So,
and the sheath, is that something you
that is
did as well? Yeah.
that is an original sheath right there on that one.
Okay, original sheath.
Definitely.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, they don't make them like that.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if you wet fit this because the fit of it is just so much better than the ones.
Yeah, so that's how they used to do them. They used to wet fit them from the factory.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. I guarantee you.
And I want to say they put like I think somebody was telling me they put a mold in there and vacuum sealed it.
Oh, is that how they do? Okay.
I believe so, and then they dry like that. So.
Right. Well, thank you again for that. I mean, that was just such a surprise. I mean, I didn't even know you were going to be at the show, and then I ended up seeing you. We were like just handing out things like Santa Claus. I was like, holy cow, look at you. So yeah, well, I had a hell of a time at Texas Blade Show, and I think everybody that went had a hell of a time. We got to see so many vendors and things, and talk to so many different people, and it was just just the whole experience was fantastic because more or less was just talking to people was more fun than anything else, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a blast. It was a whirlwind of fun.
Who all did you end up getting to see while you were there?
So the first day, I took my family up there, and it was basically just y'all both days. Andrew and his buddy and Brad, and then you and Matt and Mikey, and I don't remember the gentleman that met up with y'all when we met up the second day. He was with y'all as well. I can't remember his name.
Fictional Iceland, was it?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Fictional Iceland. So
very nice to meet him as well.
Yeah. And we got to meet Thomas Howard, MD, as well. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but he's a frequenter during our Sundays live. So
very nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now, as far as the case knives go, I don't know if you caught earlier shows. We had a couple of them where we talked about some of the things we'd like to see them change, and so I thought we'd start with that. Like I've asked you before, kind of what year you started. Well, not what year, but how old the case knife that you're willing to buy, and like where's your sort of cutoff for where you decided that the quality wasn't there for what you wanted, and so you kind of went older and. Or is that like a sort of a thing for you where you just sort of limit how old a knife or young a knife you'll allow into your collection, or is it not like a hard limit, or what is it?
It's kind of grown on me. Originally, I was buying brand new case knives when I started my YouTube channel. I was buying trappers and 75s and 18s and 47s. Just whatever I could find at my hardware store. And then my dad brought me this, This is his 2000 3318 in CV. And when I received it, this handle was curled up this way, and the pin was gone here. The only blade that was left was this one, the main blade, and that's still the original clip point there. So it needed a new sheep's foot and a new spade blade, which it got, and they replaced them in CV. I do have some complaints though. When I sent this in for warranty, I expected new blades, and that was really it, and just be put back together correctly. I was okay with the shape that the scales were in, the handles, and all that. It just needed to be pinned back down. So they sent it back, and I don't know if you can see. Can't hardly see it, but
yeah, I can there on the top. Yep.
Yes, this pin here is proud, and on a yellow Delrin knife, there you can see the other ones are flush, as they should be.
Yeah.
Even on smooth bone, they just left it proud, which that's my least complaint, I would say, on that one. But the cherry is actually, there's two cherries. First cherry is a proud back spring in closed position. You can see it right there, just barely.
Right. Yeah.
But the main cherry is this. And you can see the scratching there from where it, you got to force it down in there to close the knife.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unacceptable. Yeah, wouldn't.
So, and at that point, I stopped collecting anything 2020 and beyond, because I had realized they pushed out the stamp and brought in the etch. At that point, I also decided to start collecting my birth year, which is 1988. So that kind of shifted things backwards for me as well. I started focusing more on 88s. I collected a whole lot of them, actually, probably like 20 of them. And after that, I don't know what really set it off, but something just switched inside of me, and I was just like, I just want to collect one thing, one color, and then it's going to be pre-80s and post 39, I guess you would say. So that's where my range is pre-80s, post 39 at this point.
Right. And what was the color that you ended up going with?
I went with red.
All right. So can we see a couple examples of the red?
Absolutely. I will show, and I know some of these are probably still being made, but these are some of my finer examples, I guess you would say.
Okay.
This is a 40 to 64 red bone, and this is I can't remember. The pull on the main blade is indicative of the early years and the late years, and I have a different variant here. You can see the pull on this one is high, being up here, and the pull on this one is low, being down here.
Right.
So this one is, I think these came later, if I'm not mistaken, the local. So they also used to put the worm groove in the bone on a lot of the patterns that had this old bone. You'd get that worm groove in there as well. You can see that.
Right.
All the way down it. So that is one. Here's the other one. Same worm groove. Just a high pull on this one. Ridiculous snap.
Yep. But believe it or not, that is actually a pattern they still make.
Okay. No worries.
Believe it or not. But
they just don't.
They don't make a lot of them.
Nice.
The only one I've seen like in like cabinets for sale, and I haven't looked into maybe like their more recent releases, but they generally have the basic brown Delrin jig bone, brown jig Delrin, and they'll put the basic blades on them with like the satin finish, not the mirror finish. So it's sort of like their budget, I guess, series.
Right.
I have seen them in that, but as far as mirror polish and the really nice jigging and all that with bone, no, I haven't seen that in a while.
I can fix that. Here's one that they don't make anymore.
Oh, 100% no.
Yeah.
This is a 6488, and this is between the year of 1976 and 1977. The main spear point has 4 dots,
Okay.
which y'all will not be able to see, and the sheep's foot has 3 dots. So some people call that a transition knife. I consider the transition knives to be, between decades, in my opinion, but that's just me. She's in really good condition. I paid quite a bit of money for this, and you're going to for this pattern. I did get it. I want to say I picked it up for under $300. So
yeah. So they did release a Congress recently, but not in that size.
This is the large.
Yeah, and I do have an example of one of those to kind of compare.
Yeah. I do have.
There you go. It's a tiny one.
Now is that the 52 or is that the smaller one?
I'll give you the pattern runner when I open it up because I don't have it devoted to memory. This would be the 68.
Okay.
Now, this particular one's 2-bladed. You have a 4-blade example, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so they do make a 4-bladed 68. I wasn't sure of that.
Okay.
They
definitely do because this was a vault pattern and they had both the 4 and the 2 blades at that time. So.
Because I also have the 69.
69.
Which is also the small Congress, but they only made this one in a 2-blade.
Okay.
You will not find this one in a 4-blade.
All right.
And this is 65 to 69 on this one with the fire red bone there.
Nice. Yeah, that's really nice scales on that.
I'm so sorry. That's 1970 10 dot, and this is also a user 1970 10 dot. Daggum pin blade. But this one has that strawberry bone.
All right. So you don't collect just one type of jigging or color. You go with any of the red stylings that they made, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
If it resembles red any whatsoever, yeah.
Right. Okay. I got you. So it could be like a pocket worn or have different jigging. That's not a hang up. It's just you want it to be red.
So
right.
Now this is a red Rogers bone.
Well, that's really dark.
From 40 to 64. Yeah, let me change the shade of my light here. That might help.
Now, is that a slimline trapper?
This is a slimline trapper, 40 to 64, red Rogers bone.
So there's an example of a newer one there, single blade.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I like yours better.
I appreciate it.
I'm not a big fan of trappers, but I do like that one. He's got.
I do have a Slippy special, John.
You do?
I do. Single blade, bare head, spade blade, slimline from the factory. This one is 65 to 69, as you can see on the tang stamp there. So this is the blade it came with because it has the date stamp.
Okay.
And 61048 SP. Don't see those.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a single bladed with the spade.
And I'm sure Slippy would say, thankfully.
Yeah.
All right. So what pattern number did you say that one was? The 4.8?
That was the 4.8.
Yep. So they're still making that today. So Yet again.
Nice. Okay,
Yet again,
so
we're still making.
they do make the 32 pattern, I assume, as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that figures. Okay, well, I can do this one then. This is Red Rogers bone. This is the O2 pattern, 40 to 64.
Okay.
And this is a bearhead jackknife.
I have not seen that one. No, they need to bring that back.
They
Oh,
definitely need to bring that back.
There are plenty of jackknives that they need to bring back, in my opinion. But yeah, so you can see the jigging there. It's more of a picking pattern to me, like a chicken would peck. You know what I mean? Almost.
Yeah.
It's very random.
So how much of that is like what we're seeing there is from use, the wear on there, or is it just that was the way it was made?
No, this is heavily worn on this one. This one is a mint condition. This is a 32 pattern, unfortunately, but you can see how the bone is
right.
not,
yeah,
is worn, I should say.
A lot more detail in it. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the later Rogers bone when they started making them red. I don't have any from Case, but the original Rogers bone would have looked like this from Case.
Yeah, let's see if I can show an example from a recent one. If I got it here.
Nice. Oh yeah, like a recent Rogers bone from Case.
Yeah.
It's a tad bit different.
It's not quite the same, is it?
Mm-mm.
There we go. Let's see if I can bring myself up here. Yeah, so this is what we're looking at for the current.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Not bad though. I do actually enjoy that.
No, that's a beautiful rust lock.
Yeah. Okay. So new and old, just kind of doing some comparing here. I think it's just interesting to kind of look at the different changes they made. And
yeah,
but no, that Texas Jag. Now, what was the pattern number on that one?
That was the O2 pattern, 6202. And I believe there's a half on that as well because the original one would have come with the spear point.
Okay.
Yes, 6202 and a half.
All right. So O2 pattern. Bring it back, Case. Bring it back.
Yeah. I'm down with the jackknives.
Now, they still make this knife, but this is something that I've heard a lot of people request to come back on the mini trapper, and that is the pin blade secondary instead of the spade blade on the mini trapper.
See, I would love that. That would be a trapper I would carry.
40 to 64. You can see the worm groove on that one as well.
Yep.
And a little bit different color there on the back. But you can see why I like this one.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one Slippy would like. You know, have the spade blade.
And guys, just solid. I mean, it's authoritative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a cool one. I know they make the Barlow still, but they don't make it like this.
Sheep's foot, huh? Oh no, that's the razor. There we go.
It is the razor with the long pull.
Yeah, not with the long pull's long gone, isn't it? No, that is
beautiful bone too. This one's mint condition, 40 to 64. Jason McMillan found this thing in a pawn shop over at Ozark's Boy channel.
Okay.
And he made an offer. He offered this to me for sale along with a canoe, and I sent him the money. He sold it to me as a 65 to 69. I got it in hand, and I turned around. I sent him an extra $75 on top of it.
On the spot, right?
Right on the spot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, beautiful knife, though. Definitely one they don't make anymore is the 16 pattern. We have another bearhead jack.
Oh,
yeah, that's just, why did they ever get rid of that?
This was a working man's knife. Whenever you see the bare head and no shield, it's pretty indicative that it was this was a lower end knife, believe it or not.
Right. Right.
and how thin they were. Very slicey, very thin stock.
I need one of those in my pocket.
I'm fine with it not having a shield. I mean, having, you know, that variation is nice. That's something that I would definitely, if I had multiples, would want to have one of each kind of thing. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Beautiful knife.
O2. Huh? Tell them, man. Tell them to bring it back, Caleb. Tell them to bring it back.
They don't like me. I mean, I'm all about forgiveness. So, you know, they make things right. I'll be happy to go back.
Yeah, that's right.
See, Baxter knows what I like. He says it's kind of like a bunny knife. Kind of a bunny knife. So yeah.
So did you try to go anything further with that knife, or did you try to, or were you just fed up with it when you got it returned, and that was pretty much the end of it? You didn't try to
man. I didn't write an email. I didn't do anything. I made a YouTube video and I put it in the box, and just kind of walked away.
Just kind of left it there to be a reminder of what the new ones were doing to you. Yeah,
pretty much. Unfortunately. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, what do we have here?
This is the 29 pattern. Another 40 to 64. This is referred to as the tadpole, or one of the tadpoles. They did make another one. It was older, and I think it was shorter lived than this one.
Is that a little bit larger than the peanut then? I'm assuming then.
I think no, this is small. This is the smallest production case knife has ever done, is the tadpole. This is a peanut, and this is the tadpole.
Okay.
And that's actually a Red Rogers bone peanut there from the 40 to 64 as well.
Nice. Got some really nice pocket wear on that one too.
It does. And then your standard jig peanut from the 40s.
Yeah.
That one's I just got that one recently, and it's actually in really good condition.
The peanut they still make.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, but
we won't linger on that one.
Nah. It's well, I mean, Mike Curtis really loves the the peanut. He must have had
peanut man.
Of them. Yeah.
But yeah, smallest production knife ever done by Case. They stopped making them allegedly because they were so hard to make, cracking bone all the time, stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's really not much they can do to not have it so close to the edge, because they have to pin it, with the same diameter pins on a much smaller platform, so it makes it tough.
Definitely not a lot of real estate there.
Yeah, I can understand why that would be a problem. So that one I'll forgive you for, Case, but some of these others, I'll tell you. All right, so do you have any copperheads or maybe, show us some Texas Jacks. You got some Texas Jacks?
I do. You want to see the 92 though, don't you? So we're gonna go
whatever you got, Caleb.
Well, they still so they don't make a Texas Jack in the 32 anymore. Is that what you're saying?
The last one they made it maybe about 3-4 years ago, and they made it in a limited release. If they have made it since, I've not seen one in a number of years now.
Well, then let's start with the 32. Here's a 32, 1940 to 64, late Rogers bone, Texas Jack.
Okay.
Let's start that over because those half stops are just lovely.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
That's tight.
And, this one goes to match with the Stockman. So both in Rogers bone.
Okay.
I just got this one on a trade here this past week as well. So
nice.
Beautiful.
One of those ones that has the nice squared bolsters on it. And
bolsters, half stops, brass liners, brass pins. So definitely made after the war.
Yeah.
But
Now, I don't think you got this one because I remember you being on Marks and you put up that carry scrap, whatever it is. What is it? Keep carry scrap.
Yeah,
And there was a bulldog on there, and you were like, "No, I don't have that."
I
So
know.
there's
I've had a
another,
bulldog, but I don't
yeah,
have it anymore.
there's another one you can bring back, Case. Bulldog pattern.
Yeah. The buffalo was the brother to the bulldog, and they made those in the wood with the wood handles only. And those, I don't know if they handmade the bulldogs, but I know that they actually handcrafted the buffaloes.
Okay.
It's stamped on the back of the tang, handmade.
Right.
So
Oh, cool.
those are really cool. No, and I don't have one, unfortunately, anymore.
All right.
She flew the coop.
All right,
I do have the larger 92 Texas Jack if you want to see that one.
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Check. That one is going to be 40 to 64 as well. Somewhere in here.
And in case anybody's wondering, I got a birthday coming up in September.
I found it. Here's the larger Texas Jack, and then for comparison, here is the 32. It is larger. It is smaller than the 75.
Okay. Yeah. Touch smaller than 75.
Here is the 75.
Yeah. Maybe about what, quarter inch?
Just right in between. Yeah, she's a 4-inch knife. So right in between the 32 and the 75. This one has beautiful red bone handles. They're quite dark, but a lot of the bone from those days are. And this one's all stainless pins, stainless liners. So good indication this was made during the war. So
right.
There's your X's under. Came with a nice flip point and a very nice long thin blade.
Yeah. Now, when you're buying these knives, the older ones, you're not opposed at all to polish them up, shining them up? I mean, because everything you've shown so far just seems like it's bright and shiny, like you've been doing some bright work on it. Yeah.
That's something I love to. Most of the time I'll try to go for a mostly mint knife, but I am not opposed to spending $30 on a knife that just needs some buffing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this knife I purchased for $39 on eBay.
Wheeler.
It's close. It's the same. It's the same frame, 100%. But this is the electrician.
Okay. Yeah. It's got the multiple blades. Yep. All right.
Yeah, this is 1979, and it was an auction 2 years ago. I just started my YouTube channel, and $39 was the opening bid, and no one was watching it, and no one did watch it. No one bid on it but me, and I got it for $39. Need to wipe her down on that one. There you go. There you go, John. There's a little rust.
Yeah, I do see a little patina. Yeah, the electrician, I think I can see why some of those auctions maybe aren't on the radar, because there's so many electrician knives by other brands. And maybe you don't catch them all, So I can kind of see that slipping through the cracks.
You won't have that issue today, I promise you. Now I've looked again for these, and they know what they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all heard that though. I was going to redo that just because.
Ooh.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
That's a guillotine.
I would say, for just in general, the electrician's knife as an option for eBay and a really good value, not necessarily in case, but perhaps in Camillus or something else. You get really nice deals on those.
I've seen them. I've seen a lot of them go for under $10. A good Camillus electrician.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask Callan real quick. What does a vintage 92 generally go for? A good one.
The Texas Jack, you probably spend. Now, if you look on Facebook, those guys will tell you crazy numbers. If you go to eBay, find a good one, buy it now. I could see you spending $125, $150.
Okay, I can do that.
Now that's what I've spent before. I can't guarantee it every time.
Yeah.
But some people like to start them out at $225. And that's buy it now or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I got to have a 92. I got to have it now.
I hear you. I hear you. Unfortunately, that's the only one I have, a 92 Jack.
Right.
I have not found another one. I've looked.
So, question for you, Kalen. Like, let's say you got a new enthusiast to case. What advice are you giving them to try to find, some older knives?
Man, go to your flea markets. Is a good place to start. Not always a guarantee. For the most part, I feel like a lot of them have been found already. So you're going to have to go to eBay or somewhere. I believe I found 3 vintage case knives in the wild at garage sales. Now I've missed numerous case knives in the wild. This is spoken back to me from the seller. If you'd have been here 30 minutes ago, I just sold 100 case knives, and I'm just like
Right.
defeated at that point. But other than that, eBay, man, get on some auctions. If you have stuff, you can get rid of to help kind to counter the prices of some of these knives. That's what I did. I built up a 300 case knife collection, and I ended up selling off 200 of them, I would say, at auction. I did 9.99 auctions at 5 days, and it took me about 6 months, but I let them all go, and I slowly just been buying back red bones, vintage case knives here and there when I can.
So, among the ones that you were selling, what was kind of the? It was just different variety of newer stuff, or was it just
I had collected, like I said, I had like 20 to 25 1988 all green bone case knives. I let all of those go. I did some trading with a lot of them. I had a lot of 80s knives. I had some new grind case knives. I had found 33 knives on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $400 for all of them, and there ended up being 2 6275s from 1984 new grinds, mooses, completely mint in there. So you like I said, you get lucky. Put yourself out there as much as you can. Just ask. Everywhere I go, y'all have pocket knives, y'all have guns, y'all have clothes, y'all have video games, because that's a lot of my fortes in my resale, I should say, is that kind of thing. So
right.
Everywhere I go, I ask. Somebody at the gas station, I've seen my buddy buy clothes off a guy's back before. So just ask. Just ask.
Right. So you're just using sort of your eBay sales to kind of supplement the money you use for your normal collection. Is that how that works pretty much?
100%. It was all of those knives, and I had a few completed sets as well. So getting rid of those also helped a lot. I had a completed green bone set from '96, and I had a half completed case select set from '98 to '99 with the wooden box and all that.
Right.
So selling all of that and just keeping it in the knives.
Yeah. So when you decided to get rid of the green knives, the green bone, the green selection of knives that you collected, was it because then you decided to narrow it further to just the red stuff, and you just sort of kind of shifted gears and went with the red? As
even when I decided to go red, I still had some modern ones, and I think I still got one left. It's it's been the hardest one to let go. It's a 63046 humpback Whittler in CV blades from 2010, and it's like pulling teeth trying to let that one go.
right.
It's in the let go pile right now, so we'll see. But those were the last ones I let go, were my modern reds.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to me whenever people kind of go through their knife collecting journey, how things kind of shift and change direction sometimes very, very unexpectedly, I think, for a lot of people. I know that my journey's been quite a bit different than it was just a couple of years ago. It's just it's hard to even anticipate like what changes you would end up making. But yeah, I find that interesting because almost everybody that I've been close to that's been doing the knife collecting in the last couple of years, none of the things they were buying even 2 years ago are the things that they're buying today. It's just changes constantly.
Yeah. So sometimes you just got to sit back and just, let it happen. That's kind of also what I did. I guess the main catalyst was this one right here. This was my first case knife. This is my great granddad's 6332 Stockman that he repaired with some resin. Other than that, it's absolutely just gorgeous, pocket worn naturally. And I didn't do a lot with this knife for a long time, and once I started going through all those knives and getting rid of them, I kind of kept coming back to this one, and I didn't get this from my great granddad. I was eating breakfast with my father one morning at a cafe that he frequented when it was still around with a bunch of old men. He'd sit at a table with about 20 old men, and he would take me down there every weekend at 6 a.m. And one morning, this gentleman in there, his name was Wendell White, and he had this knife in his pocket, and he asked my dad. He said, "Is that my granddad was named Floyd Camp, and he asked him, is this the heir? Where does this knife need to go, basically?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's him." And he pulled this knife out of his pocket and he gave this to me, and I was like, I might have been 8 or 10 years old when he gave me this. And through the years, like I said, it didn't really come onto my radar until I was probably 35 or 36 years old. So.
Right. It didn't resonate the way it does now. Is what
Not
you're saying.
now,
Yeah.
not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, go figure. I have no idea.
Well, you're 8. You have a hard time kind of being able to reflect in a way that makes any.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely understand that. Yeah, that's the sentimental knife that got it all started. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. And then my family was always big into. My granddad would always give me a case knife or a Schrade at Christmas, and same thing with my father. So I had 20 or 30 knives by the time I was 20, just from birthdays and Christmases. So
yeah, you got lucky.
You weren't even really a knife collector, but had accumulated 20 knives just from
yeah. And luckily, I hung on to them and didn't let them go through the years. For the longest time, I kept them in the original. My aunt and uncle bought me this old Shadow box, like in the 90s, and by the time I let it go, it was like falling apart. The glass was sliding around inside of it, and stuff. But
yeah. So, all right, we got about 15 minutes left. Let's go through a couple more knives and.
That flew by! Dang, that flew by. I got one everybody likes to see. The big boy.
Oh,
that's the 99.5. This is a 1974. I think it's safe to say they're not making this one right now.
No,
they need to make it again.
Oh, absolutely. This is just for comparison here. Here's a 31, which is its little brother.
Is there a name for that one that they use? Is there a common name for it? The 74?
The common name is the rail splitter.
Rail splitter. Okay.
Rail splitter or swell end jack or torpedo jack is pretty much the 3 names that people like to use for this knife.
Okay.
And that's pretty common. All 3 of them you'll hear quite commonly, in my opinion. But just a yellow Delrin. I acquired it at the same time as I got this 16.5 that I just showed. So we'll move on from that one to, like I said, its little brother. This is the 31.5. This is a 40 to 64 with beautiful clip point. Nice long pull. I guess that's a semi-long pull. Nice swedge. Terry over at Terry's Knives and Man Stuff grabbed this for me last year at the Ellaville show that the Knife Doctor put on.
Oh, okay.
From I think Deep South Cutlery was selling this one. Here is a 65 to 69 version of that knife. This one's completely mint. If y'all want to see I'm sure y'all heard that.
Yeah, oh
Snap
yeah.
is insane. Yeah.
Just a
That
beautiful,
it doesn't look like it's ever been used.
unused completely.
We need to protest at Case Cutlery.
I mean, you make that pattern and you decide not to make it anymore. Who's making that decision?
A dumbass.
And here's the baby brother to those knives. This is the 35.5.
Yeah, they need to bring all those back.
Any of the jacks, bring them back. Here's the copperhead you wanted to see.
Oh yeah.
Earlier.
There we go.
This is a 1970 10 dot copperhead. Another pattern that is not seen these days is the 93 large toothpick.
Large toothpick, yeah.
And believe it or not, they made a 98, which was the jumbo toothpick. That was pre-20s on that one. Actually, they might have did that one 20 to 39, but it went away with by the 40s. It was gone. Let me just blast through a few here.
Sure.
I know they make the 47 still. This one's actually in green bone, even though that does not look like green bone. I've been assured by numerous case historians that this is green bone. There was many variants. What makes this one special is and it is surgically sharp.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's more or less a rancher knife, right? Rancher stock.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Green bone on that. That's the only green bone knife I have from the early days. One that they don't make anymore is the 047 pattern. It is pretty much the 18 pattern, just enhanced. With the you get the Turkish clip on it instead of the large clip, and you get an easy open on the main blade too. So
I like that.
Yeah, since it's so low,
Yeah,
gotta have it. They don't make the 047 pen knife anymore. This was I guess one of the largest pen knives that they ever did.
they ought to bring that one
That
back.
is a big pen.
Yeah, I'd carry that.
They still doing the cheetah?
Yes.
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
I know what y'all want to see. We could probably.
They do still have the 4.7 Stockman in this pattern.
Ooh.
The amber.
What you got?
This is
Oh,
the
okay.
6.5 bone stag, I believe.
And that's just the standard Stockman version.
Yeah, standard 47 Stockman.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, but
that's a pretty one.
Yeah, they should make more of these too because I really enjoy that size. I think it's a really good carry size. But they don't make it. They don't make a ton of them.
No, and see that's the thing they used to do. They used to make 3 or 4 colors, but you could get 4 or 5 different blades on the same knife. You could get a ram's foot, you could get a spear point, you could get a clip, you could get whatever you wanted. Basically on a lot of the patterns. And I think that's where they've messed up. And they need to get back to doing that. It's the same thing that GEC does now. You get one pattern, you get 3 different colors or 4, and then you get 5 different blade shapes.
Yeah.
And they're all sold out. So.
Yeah.
And overpriced now.
And overpriced. This is the Loom Fixer. This is the 17 pattern.
Now, see, yeah, that's an attractive loom fixer. Yeah, I like that.
This is it's the large sway back pattern. You get your ram's foot, just a massive blade. super authoritative.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. I'm just.
Yeah.
They need to bring this back.
The pulls on those remind me of like like modern air of Ashley Harrison's. They're just
I was gonna say, like those hard pull Sheffield knives. That's
right.
what this is. That's what
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
And I don't guess they're doing this one anymore. And I know we're running out of time. I won't. You just tell me when to stop.
You're good. We got another 10, 15 minutes.
Or an hour.
I can go.
I don't think anybody's losing interest. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Yeah,
This is
muskrat.
65 to 69 moose.
Oh,
627.
moose. Sorry, moose. Yeah.
Oh no, you're good. No, you're good. Beautiful bone.
See,
I think 65 to 69 is probably my favorite color for the bone.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Chris?
I was saying I would carry that over the trapper that they make so many of. I was like, need to bring that back.
Yeah.
Over the trapper.
I know they're making the 44 Stockman. Are they still making the pin? I don't think they're making this one anymore. The 44 pin, the serpentine.
I couldn't tell you. I don't think they're making the pin. I think they're making the Stockman. That's it.
So, and the Stockman's a square bolstered knife.
Yeah.
Right.
This one is not. This one is round bolstered serpentine, and it's very similar to the. Where are you?
Let's see what this one
is. It's very similar to the 87 pattern.
Yeah.
Very similar. Which I guess they brought that one back too, haven't they? The 87.
87. Not certain. Not certain about that.
Okay. Well, just in case they didn't, this one is in late Rogers bone. This is a 87 Stockman with your clip point, spear or spay, and pin blade in late Rogers bone. Just all the blades on these, just gator snaps on all of them. Here's the 85 pattern, the doctor's knife. This one's 40 to 64, red bone. She's been used, but beautiful bone, at least. Bare head.
Bare head, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably weren't crushing their pills with this one.
Nah. Well, you could. I mean,
could.
Springs there. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, I don't think they're doing this one right now. This is the 27 pattern. This is the rat. This is a USA era, so 65 to 69 in red bone. Just a little jackknife.
Yeah.
Serpentine jackknife. They also make the Stockman version of that, which is this. And you get your clip point, your sheep's foot, and a little bitty baby spay blade. Probably the smallest spay blade I've ever seen on a case knife. But the 27 rat is a cool one. Here's one that they aren't making at the moment, for sure. This is the 08 half whittler. And if they are making this one, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't recall on the half whittler just because I don't know. Don't.
You know what this one is?
The world?
Nope.
This is the 6201. This is the 01 pattern.
01 pattern. Okay.
This is not the first pattern made because it's pretty well known that they switched a lot of the patterns up in the early days and they stopped making them and some of them they just switched to different patterns.
Right, using the same number.
Same number for a different pattern, exactly. Just a pen knife, just a gentleman pen knife, very plain, straight. It's got easy opens for both blades.
Probably the same reason why they don't make that. It's the pins, right? The cracking and all that on that one as well, I would imagine. That bottom pin looks like it's awful close to the edge.
It actually is quite close to the edge, but they didn't crack them for some reason, you know. Here's one from 1970 that they didn't crack. And I had to pick this one up because you won't be able to see it, but somebody professionally etched a C right there. And obviously, my name's Kalen, so
Works for you, huh?
had to grab that one for sure. So that's probably a good place to stop, I guess, on the first case pattern. I think that's a good place. Unless we still got time, then I'm
whatever you want to do, Kalen. We're good.
Trying to keep it in knives that aren't being made anymore. Are they making the 33 pin?
I think they are making that in the stock one. Yeah.
Get out of here. Oh my. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Are you good?
What do we have?
You got any? Do you have any whalers? I know I mentioned that before, and it was the electrician's knife. I was just curious if you had the whaler.
I do not. I have not had a whaler actually. So, golly, there's two here that I can't forget to show. Here's the 42 pin knife. I don't think they're doing that one. It's slightly larger than the 32 or the 33. I'm sorry. This one comes with a spear main blade though.
They aren't doing just a whole ton of pin blades, period. Really.
No.
Pin knives, I mean.
I don't guess they are, but I can totally show this one because this was a vault pattern.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Look at the bolsters.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the bolsters. Why don't they do that anymore?
Or put a second blade on them.
Yeah.
All right, Kalen. I got to show this one since you don't have one.
Let's see it.
I'm shocked that you don't have one. Shocked. All right, so there's a whaler.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They actually made two different sizes. I think this is the smaller version.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got the pin shield, so it is a bit older.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't dated it. I'd have to go back and look. But I think it's 1971 from everything that the seller said.
Nice.
So that was supposed to be a birth year knife. Got the long pull, really like that.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, and it's been pocket worn. It's pretty worn out. Wood handle. There's some bits missing along the edges there.
Oh no, I think it looks fine.
Yeah. Blade's pretty much there. You can see there's a little bit of a recurve to it from the sharp.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
They also made one of those with a cap on the end with a bail, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that was the larger version, or maybe just an alternate version of this one that had the bail. Yeah. Yeah. More of a rope knife, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think rope knife. They all were also sold as that. Are they doing the muskrat these days?
Every once in a while, yeah, I think they do. I don't know if it's the same size as what you're showing there, but it looks like the same. Yeah.
65 to 69, easy open on both blades. So one thing I've kind of got a hunch on is if you notice, this one has stainless pins as well and stainless liners. So I'm thinking this might have been made close to the Vietnam War. Just
a wartime thing, right?
More wartime stuff, exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever I see the brass disappear, that's kind of where I go.
Right.
And believe it or not, the 1970 is also stainless. So I figure it being just a year after the war, they were still using up the parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my head went.
Yeah, it's pretty common to continue using the stuff until they're all out.
For sure.
All right, Chris, you going to show a knife today?
Well, I need to show a knife where I can't follow that.
You got your case out? Don't you have your two case? I thought you had two of them.
I ain't gonna show the other one because the other one's crappy.
There we go. There we go.
That's my 75. Probably.
Yeah, 75 is a great pattern.
Yeah, it's not an old one, but everything's tight.
Now, is that one amber bone, or do you know?
Yeah, it's amber bone, but I took and kind of did my own thing to it because it was, I guess it was kind of getting my OCD, so I just took it down and made it a little more of my liking, just like I did with the sheep's foot and the kick.
Oh wow!
There's one Caitlin like. Yeah. This is one of the Shepherd Hills Crimson Red.
They did good on that one.
Yeah, I believe that's the peach seed jig on there.
Yeah, they did really good on that one. Yeah. As far as that's the color I look for right there. So,
how's the pull?
Go ahead.
How's the pull on that one, John?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Because mine's not. I mean,
it's probably one of my favorite case knives that I own. It's not Caitlin snappy, but it's still pretty good, especially for a modern.
Oh, damn it. There it goes again.
There you go.
There's mine. This is the only one I got. They're hard to come by when you get them like this.
75? That's only 75 you got?
This is the only 75 as a stockman that I have. I do have two moose.
Oh, okay. Right.
What year is that one?
65 to 69.
Believe it or not, what's something like that cost you, Caitlin?
What I paid for this, I made a $40 trade value on this knife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I traded a Boker tree brand, China made Boker. I assume they're China made.
Right.
They're not Soligen made completely. I can say that.
Right. But so you're just picking up whatever good value knives you can find, and then you use them for trade as well. So is that something you're doing as well?
Well, with this one specifically, this guy, he pulled this knife out of his pocket, and my eyes blew up like a bug. And all I had on me was I think I had $15 on me in that Boker knife, and I offered him all of it, and he just wanted the knife. He wanted that Boker. It was a copperhead style knife, and he wanted it, and he was willing to trade me, no questions. I even asked him 3 times, like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And he wanted it, man, and he traded me that, and I buy knives from him every week now, from that guy.
Right.
He's a good guy. But
does he need another friend?
Come on down.
Come on down. All right, well,
it's coming
I'm going to wrap up the show with a couple of things that we didn't get to until, because I didn't know how much longer we'd go, but we've been hard-pressed to not show anything AI because of some situations that we ran into last week. So I just want to show you that AI can be a good thing, too. So you can design knives with AI. And let's take a look at that. Remove this one and add that one. So there you go. In an effort to try to design some knives, kind of thing you can come up with. A little drop point blade here. Now,
not a bad looking knife.
Not a bad looking knife, is it?
Good job, computer.
Right.
When John showed me that, I told him, he called that one the whale tooth. Looks like a whale's tooth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we did go ahead and do as Tiger wished. He wanted us to make a tiger lady.
Yeah.
In AI, so we did that too. So there you go.
That was my tiger creation.
Woman. Chris made that.
You're welcome, Andrew.
Half tiger, half woman. So, and he also made the robot.
Well, the Autobot Transformers.
All right. Yeah. Let's not get too technical.
Well, Callan knows what I'm talking about. He's from he was born in the 80s too.
So, what would you call her?
She's
Mrs.
definitely a Decepticon.
No, she's not a bot. Look at her.
Oh.
Look at the symbol on her chest. She's not a bot.
All right.
She's just a little bit angry with Optimus Prime at the moment.
Okay. All right. They're not getting on well right now, so they gotta make up. Okay. So there you have it. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. As always, we gotta play the Tiger audio because he supported us very much tonight. Was in here the whole time.
What's up, Andrew?
So here you go, Tiger. And massive thank you to Kaylin for coming in.
The Tiger Pit.
Yeah, let's set that up close there, bud.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go, Andrew.
India Oil Stones.
Nice.
Norton. You want to see that, baby? Brand new, unused.
It's a big one.
I paid $3 for this at a garage sale.
There you go.
Good Lord. Finding the bargains. Go out there, buy them case knives, trade them to Kaylin. Then he can put them on eBay and I can buy them for 3 times what you paid. That's how that'll work.
Or if you find a 92, send it my way.
Because I never find any good deals around here. We're just doesn't happen very often. I got to get. You know what, Kaylin? Have you ever been down to that big trade show? Where is it? Down in Canton? Have you ever been down there?
No, I got invited to it last weekend, but I have not been. So
okay,
definitely on the radar.
Sometime at some point, I need to get down there. So maybe we can make arrangements to do it at the same time or something.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'd love to go try to find some knives.
You ever do Trader Joe's?
I haven't. No, is that a good place to go check as well?
I definitely hear that. So, and I think that's probably a lot closer to
Trader Joe's. Okay, where is that?
No. Trader's Village. I do apologize.
Trader's Village.
Yes.
Okay.
You been to that one?
I have not. There used to be a third Monday near me, and they don't do it anymore. And all that business went down to Canton.
Gotcha.
So lost my flea market that's nearby.
Dang.
So I don't have one to go to now. And wouldn't you know it, it happened like within about 3 weeks of me starting to collect knives.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get a lot of an opportunity to buy anything there. Just one knife I bought. It was $1. And then I got yelled at for paying what I did. I paid $40 for it. And the blade was all trashed. Then I sent it off to Buck and they replaced the blade for $10. So I got a brand new, basically $110 for $50, and I still got yelled at. You spent too much. You spent too much.
That's cheaper than a brand new one.
I know. I don't know what the problem was with those guys telling me that. There you have it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Next week we'll try to do a little better job of talking to you, chat. But I had Kaylin on. I want to really get through a bunch of knives tonight. So next time we'll be a little more interactive and give you a roll call and give you all your props. But thank you again, Kaylin, for coming. Thank you, Chris. We'll be back.
A pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll be back again next week, same time, 9:30 on Wednesdays, and we'd love to have you back on again, Kaylin. We'll show some more case stuff. It's kind of trying to be a more American vibe to this show. So anytime we can show American knives, that's a positive.
Oh yeah, I got many different avenues we can travel down with American knives.
Well, there you go. But that's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Later.